We're good.
Okay, we're going to be teaching you how to set up your basic above-ground filter system. Now, I know you've seen many other videos where the filter systems look perfect, but these are real-world videos where you're going to see crappy equipment or just beat-up equipment in your backyard or even used equipment. So what we're going to do today is show you how to basically hook up your filter system. So we're going to require your filter. This is your filter right here. This is a Hayward DE filter that could use a cleaning. Here's our pump right here. This is a Leslie's pump. It's a knockoff of a Hayward. Same design. They put their tag on it. Maybe they have some kind of deal. I don't know. And then you have your pool hoses here that are going to connect your skimmer and your return lines. And one last piece of the equation, and this is optional for some pools, is you're going to have something called an offline chlorinator here. It's like you've seen in other videos where there is an inline chlorinator. This is an offline one, which means it sits off of the main line but gets piped in. And we're going to also have some problems with this, as you'll see in the video, but I don't want to ruin the fun yet. Okay. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to look how the pool's closed up. Now, I'm going to take this winter plate off here. You're not going to really see it, but on the other side of the skimmer is a winter plate. There's a couple little screws we're going to take off right on this side here. And in 1 second I'll show you what this winter plate's going to do here. This could be a time for a commercial, or this is our sponsor. Okay. We're going to take this winter plate off. And if you want to know how to install your winter plate, you can just see how to install your winter plate video. So once we've taken our winter plate off here, this was on the reverse side of the skimmer here. There's also another video that would be a link on the bottom of this post. We'll show you how to put this on. But we're not here to do that today. So we'll just discard this off to the side. Like that. Now we take the same screws and we're going to put them back in where we removed them from. Here's the skimmer. Plays faintly in the background. This is also a good time for a good joke, but we don't have any right now.
Yeah, I'm not that funny.
I try to be, but I usually embarrass myself, and then people think that's funny. So I guess it does work out both ways, right?
Yep.
Usually I use a coil. You could do. Oh, in fact, you can usually use a quarter drill for this. Set the chuck. It works a little faster, but didn't really think about that. Okay, now that we have our skimmer bolts back in, we're going to set our pump and filter into this position. Now you see, the pump and filter just consists of this. This guy has a nice base here. You put in the concrete base, which is nice. If you don't have a base, it's a good idea. You can go out and buy some patio stones, make a nice little base, that way your equipment always sits level. We're going to take our filter system right here, and we're just going to turn it just like this. You can see here, on the side is the union. It's going to connect the union from the pump to the filter. Just like so. Pretty self-explanatory. Only one way that this can screw together. Just like that. Set this back a little. Now we have two hoses. One hose is going to go from the bottom of your skimmer, just like that. Make sure it's nice and secure, to the front of your pump, because naturally, if you watch other videos, that the skimmer is part of the suction side of the pump, and that's where the water will go in. So we're going to connect this hose right to the front like this, just like that. Now, of course, you're going to have to tighten the hose clamps. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. Now you take your second hose. That's going to come off the top of your pump, your filter here. Put it just like this. This is our discharge side, and Hayward is even nice enough to say 2 pools right on there for you. So, really, it's really that simple. We're going to take this, and we're going to go to the pool with it. Right, like this. Bam! Right on the side of your pool. So now, if you don't have a chlorinator, and you just have a standard above ground system, your system is all hooked up except for the hose clamps. So what we'll do is now tighten the hose clamps. Really simple, just take your flathead screwdriver, twist your clamp a little so you can get it in the top position, and tighten it down just like this. And you'll repeat that process with all the clamps that are necessary on your pool. If you just have a simple system, that will be 4 clamps. Like that. One right here. Now, if you have any rusty clamps and they don't tighten up right away, just buy a new clamp. There's nothing like having the hose come off your pool when you're at home, or not at home, or at work or something, and then you have to refill it. And with today's economy, we know this is 2008, that people can't afford anything. They're buying extra water for no reason. So, we'll tighten the clamps. Okay. Now that our clamps are tightened here, or almost tightened, what we're going to do is we have something called an offline chlorinator. Now, the way this usually works is that it's just like an inline chlorinator. When the pipes go, the direction of flow, we showed you in other videos. Here's your direction of flow. So what happens is this gets hooked off inline. Now, years, and believe it or not, even though Hayward makes this company, and I hope they watch this video one day and write me a nice nasty email, because now I've been doing this long enough, it just seems that these chlorinator tanks always outlast the hoses. You see this hose, the way it's all bubbled up? If I was to actually just take this, I'll show you, I'll demonstrate on the other side because I'm going to need that hose for a second. But if we actually just spin this off right here, now watch, this is not a fluid piece of footage here. There's no breaks in this. Now I'm not Nostradamus, but I guarantee once I take this, it's going to crack. See how it's right putting cracks right in the line. Because all these bubbles, what happens is the chemicals. See, it's actually got one of the hoses for you. See all those bubbles? The chemicals actually eat the hose. Now you think that people know chlorine's going in this because it's a chlorinator, that they make these hoses strong enough, but then again, you know how it is with replacement parts. So the issue everybody's seeing here today is that we're missing one end of this that's supposed to spin on, because it either got lost in transit or something, it might have been broken. You can also see on these fittings here they're half cracked off, so chances are those are going to leak right at the start. So today we're not going to even hook up the chlorinator because there's just going to be a lot of issues. What the customer needs to do is, or we need to do for the customer, is get them new lines like this. Either that or sell them an inline chlorinator, which is a better advantage, because when you have an inline chlorinator, a lot of guys think in the trade, or even homeowners think, I have an above ground system, let me use an offline. But the thing is, that's actually wrong. See, with an offline chlorinator, here's some disbenefits. Okay, with an offline chlorinator, you have these separate hoses. So every couple of years from them baking out in the sun and the chemicals like that, you have to replace these hoses. And these hoses are actually pretty phenomenally priced. I mean, you could buy the whole offline chlorinator, you know, like say from like a major retailer or whoever, for like, you know, 50 to 60 bucks, but the replacement hoses are like $40. So like, it's really silly. Now, an offline chlorinator, like I'll also post a link to that on the bottom of this video. If you look at an offline chlorinator, like inline chlorinator, like we showed you before, you can spin that right into the system, and there's no hoses to replace. So right here in this fitting here, we could actually unthread this, put a male adapter here, a short piece of pipe, and if you had an inline chlorinator, we actually mount an inline chlorinator right here. And what that would do is we could take the hose right from here, and that would be it. And there would be none of this ridiculous breaking of the hoses. So now that we're not hooking up the chlorinator, we'll just put it to the side. And chances are when I tell him that, he'll probably just want to put the chlorine tablets in the basket anyway. So what we're going to do today is we're going to bypass the chlorinator. Okay, if you want to know how to bypass your chlorinator, here's how it is. Normally, if your chlorinator is broken, you only have one end of the hose. A lot of guys will try to cut this in half, and they'll try to put these fittings here on the other side, so you get 2 pieces. It's never going to happen. This pipe's too slow. The best bet you can do is, if you see a situation like this, is you want to bypass the chlorinator. So basically, all you're doing is just taking the in and the out and just connecting it. If you know what a bypass is already, if you're an auto mechanic from work, or you know, you're somebody else in the trade and you know what a bypass is, you'll know what this is. But if not, basically all you're doing is just spinning this little hose on just like this, here, and then you can take the bottom half of it here, if it doesn't crack, and we're going to spin it right onto this fitting right here. Now once that's connected, bypassing it's not going to work. Cut it.